Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm from New York City. And this is my story of how being short, like really short, leads me to have a unique, crazy life. So, I had a really crazy mother who was mad about shopping. Shoes, clothes, makeup, perfumes. She stopped at nothing. One day, when I was 2 years old, she left me at the mall because her hands were full of bags.
Where's Jane?
What?
You took Jane with you while shopping, right? Where is she?
Oh, my hands were full of bags. I might have just left her at the mall. Plus, she's too tiny and short for her age, so it's easy to forget her. Short and ugly. I wonder who she looks like. My dad was furious.
I already knew your shopping was a problem, but this is the last straw!
So he took me and left Mom for good. For a while, Dad and I lived happily in a small apartment. But when I was 8, Dad discovered that he didn't have much time to live, so he decided to leave me with his first wife. He took me to her huge mansion, hugged me really tightly, and left, and I never saw Dad again. Dad's first wife didn't have any children of her own. She was always dressed in black and never smiled. She looked just like a creepy widow, so I started calling her the widow. But there was no denying that the widow was rich. Practically everything in her house was made of gold, even the spoons. On the first day of my new school, the widow sent me off to school in a limo. And at school, the widow had the butler distribute free ice cream for a month so everyone would be nice to me. At first, it was crazy fun, but on my 10th birthday, even though I was surrounded by friends, I broke down into tears. I missed my parents so much. And then I noticed that no one brought any gifts for me. When I asked them why, some boy yelled, "Because we don't like you, you dwarf, and your breath smells bad." Suddenly, the widow showed up from behind him and put her hand on his mouth and dragged him away. What was going on? So, everyone in school liked me only because of the widow's money? One day, when my so-called best friend announced,
"Hey girls, let's go get some ice cream. Jane's buying."
I lost my cool.
"No, I'm not. You want it? Go get it yourself. I'm not your debit card." "Look at this dwarf being so mean. It's not even your money, Jane. You're a charity case."
They all angrily marched away, and after that, I was a loner. Not only that, it was really annoying that I never got picked during gym class, and I really wanted to play basketball. So one day, in 6th grade, I ran straight onto the court, snatched the ball from another kid, and started dribbling it away. I was small, but fast. Just then, the substitute gym teacher came running onto the court, blowing his whistle furiously. And next thing I knew, he had picked me up and was carrying me away.
"We have a kindergartner on the loose! Don't you know you could seriously get hurt, kid?"
He just wouldn't listen and took me to the principal. He sure looked dumb when the principal told him I was in the 6th grade. But I was still banned from playing. It was too dangerous for me. One day, when I was in 9th grade, right before my exam was about to start, my teacher came up to me and put her hand on my forehead. "Jane, dear, your mom said you aren't feeling well today. You can go home and rest." "But I'm not sick." "Yes, you are, sweetie. You have a horrible fever." And the teacher just dragged me out of the room. After the exams, when I looked at my report card, I was shocked. I got an A+ on an exam I didn't even write, and all the rest as well. The widow then threw a fancy party where she literally distributed money. Worst of all, the party was full of my teachers. Ugh, talk about boring. The only person at the party my age was Andrew from school, the son of one of the teachers. I always had a crush on him, and now he was making his way to me. My heart began to beat like crazy. I do, Andrew, I do.
How does it feel to take something you don't deserve, just because you have money?
Huh? What do you mean?
Oh, come on. Everyone in class already guessed your mother bought those fake grades for you.
Aren't you ashamed? How could you have possibly topped when everyone knows I'm the smartest? I never asked her to do it. She's not even my mom. It's not my fault.
Yeah, your grades are better than your height. Dwarves can't be the smartest.
I stood there, shocked, and I decided it was time for me to tell the widow to change. But she said that she didn't mean any harm. She just wanted to help me get into some college, as it was my dad's last wish. I begged her to let me do it on my own. Eventually, she agreed. Sadly, that didn't pan out as I'd planned. I wasn't doing well in school at all. And without the widow's money, the teachers weren't so nice anymore.
Why is your handwriting so big when you're so short?
Are you so bad at math because it's hard to understand things with your teeny tiny brain? I flunked horribly and was held back a grade. My ex-best friend smirked and said, "Keep flunking and you'll finally reach a grade that suits your height. Can you just leave me alone?" "Oh, I heard wearing a pink hat while studying helps your brain work because the brain likes the color pink.
I tried it, but it didn't work. Guess I'm already a genius.
Or that you don't have a brain. As I left for home that day, with angry tears in my eyes, I ran straight into someone. Andrew. Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying?
Listen, just back off. I have enough troubles without you. But Andrew did not back off. The next few days, he really started chasing me all over school. There was just no escaping him. Wherever I went, there he was. What's wrong with you? I'm trying to study. Stop stalking me.
I'm just worried about you. Let me help you with your grades.
Why? I appreciate it, but you really don't have to feel sorry for me.
I don't feel sorry. I understand you want to rely on yourself, and I respect that. I'm just offering to help, and also trying to make up for being a jerk.
Well, I knew he was a math whiz. If anyone could help me, it was him. From that day onwards, every night, he snuck in from my window to help me study. But he was so distractingly cute and funny. We were becoming super close. The night before the exam, the door flew open and the widow barged in. She started yelling at me. Boys ruin everything. This is probably why you don't get good grades. You're so distracted all the time. Then she dragged him to the window and told him to leave the way he came.
He isn't my boyfriend. He's my private teacher. He's helping me with math.
But she wasn't listening. So Andrew climbed down the tree outside the window and left. The next day, I passed the exam and was over the moon. I ran to him and threw my arms around him. I did it! I passed the math exam on my own! Then, before I knew what I was doing, I kissed him. And what an utterly stupid thing to do that was! Because the minute our lips touched, he froze. I was so embarrassed. I let him go and stepped back. I'm so sorry.
Jane, I had no idea that you felt this way about me. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong idea, but I was just looking out for you.
You know, like a little sister. You're just not my type.
Wait, what?
I never felt so humiliated in my entire life. Without another word, I just turned around and fled. And that was my real first heartbreak. I refused to go down for dinner that evening and shut myself up in my room. A little later, the widow knocked and came in.
Do you want to tell me what's wrong, Jane?
I burst into tears and told her everything.
You were right. Boys ruin everything. From now on, I'm just going to focus on me. I'm going to get a university scholarship and leave this stupid place.
And for the first time ever, the widow hugged me. It was really awkward, but also kind of nice.
I'll send you to any university you want. You just focus on studying really hard.
And that's what I did. I really focused on my lessons. And at home, the widow started to help me out too. She also had her chef make me really healthy food and gave me multivitamins regularly. She helped me out with all my college applications, and for the first time since Dad, I felt like I did have a parent. As I was about to graduate high school, our student counselor called me one day to her office to give me some really amazing news. You got into your dream university, Jane! Congratulations! I squealed in excitement and hugged her. In my excitement, I knocked over my bag, and my bottle of vitamins fell out. Just then, the counselor picked up one of the pills, looking confused.
Jane, why are you eating these?
Oh, they're just multivitamins.
No, they're not, Jane. These pills are given to kids with ADHD to improve focus. No one should be taking these unless a doctor prescribes them.
I couldn't believe it. Why would the widow do this? I rushed home and barged straight into her room, throwing the pills on her bed. Why have you been lying to me that these are vitamins? Why are you feeding me pills I don't need? Are you trying to poison me? The widow looked stunned. Then she said,
Jane, just let me explain.
I was only trying to help you get better. Oh, so you thought I'm so dumb that I needed pills to make me smarter? I only want what's best for you, Jane. That's all I ever wanted. And then I said the words I would regret for the rest of my life. Well, in case you forgot, let me remind you, you're not my mom. You're just a pathetic old widow, and you don't deserve to have kids. And with that, I stormed off to my room. I didn't speak a word to her for the next few weeks, and then I left for university. I felt bad for the things I'd said, but I was too angry to take them back. I was doing really well at university and met a wonderful guy, Dave. He was the only person I'd ever met who didn't treat me like I was dumb, and he never made me feel little in any way. One day, while we were on a date, I got a terrible phone call. It was a doctor from some hospital saying the widow had been found unconscious in her home and was really unwell. Dave drove me straight to the hospital, and when I went to her, it broke my heart seeing her so pale and weak. I sat down by her and started to cry.
Please be okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean those awful things I said. I love you. You're my mom.
Just then, Her eyes fluttered open. She gave me a weak smile. Jane, I'm so glad you're here, dear. I'm sorry, too. You were always so tiny. I became really overprotective. I see now that you didn't need that at all. I moved back with Mom to take care of her, and soon she fully recovered. I graduated with honors from university, and I was so happy she could be there. After university, Dave and I got married and had 2 beautiful kids together. We named our son after my dad, and our little girl after the widow, her godmother.